Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to express our warmest welcome to the second of the ITS HK 2022 Technical Webinar Series today. I'm your host for this afternoon's session's webinar. For those we have been long-standing members and supporters of ITS HK, you will know that ITS HK had for over many years been organizing regular technical seminars, forums, and visits with the objective of providing a professional platform for members of the ITS industry to share their expertise and experience, bringing benefits to the local and regional development of ITS. Our event today will be around an hour, with around 45 minutes for our speaker's presentation and around 15 minutes for the Q&A session. Today, we are delighted to feature one of our corporate members, ATAL Technologies Limited, to speak to us on the topic of automate parking innovation leading to the future. With us today is Mr. Derek So, Business Development Manager of ATAL, and together with Derek is ATAL's partner, Mr. Simon Liu, Vice General Manager and Director of International Sales of Shenzhen Yifeng Automation Technology. Before we start, may I request our audience to mute their microphones so that we can minimize any interruptions to this presentation. Questions are more than welcomed. Please type your questions to the speakers in the chat box. We'll be reading them out to the speakers at the later part of the event for their feedback and discussion. And now I will hand over the floor to Derek. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. I'm Derek. Let us share the screen first. Sorry, just
Derek.
Yes.
Can you share your screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a moment, please.
Okay.
Hi, Derek. I may need to help to share the screen because I'm not allowed to show that. Maybe need the host support.
Joanne, could you grant the access right for the share screen for us? It's okay.
Can you see my
screen? Good afternoon. Yes,
okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Derek from ATAL, and today our partner Simon from Yifeng will provide a presentation to ITS, and you may know that we did the first automatic parking system deployment in Hong Kong now is around 2 or 3 years ago, and that is the first one in Hong Kong. And since then, there are quite a lot of changes in the market and also technologies. And today we would like to share you some market update, and also not only in Hong Kong but also in GBA, in the Great Bay Area, and also in the region, in overseas as well. And also the technology side, we will also provide you some updates regarding to we call the automatic package system. I'll pass the time to Simon. Simon, please.
Yes, thank you, ITS and Derek, for inviting Yifeng to participate in this webinar. And thank you for all the audience here. I'm Simon Liu from Yifeng, and it's my pleasure to share today's topic related to the automated package system. And I hope I can bring some value for your time. Thanks. Automated parking system is new to most of the people in Hong Kong, but it has been a long history in the world. Back to 1905, in Paris. This picture was the first automated parking car park with record. Inside the car park, elevator lifted and transferred the vehicles onto pallets and horizontal tracks and move to parking space. So although the technology have improved in many ways in the last 100 years, the concept remains the same. The reason for the automation was also the same as is today. The owner want a most small piece of land and need to park as many cars as possible on it. So that's the core value and the key driver of the automated parking system to solve parking challenges. But of course, there's another key driver for the automated parking system is the smart mobility initiative. Smart parking solution plays an important role inside the smart city ecostructure by providing convenience, less city congestion, higher efficiency, and transparent mobility information. As the core elements of the smart parking solution, the sensing technologies, the IoT connectivity, data analysis, and automation have become more integrated. Automated parking system, especially robotic parking system, with its DNA of including almost all above elements of smart parking solutions, will evolve into more intelligent, flexible, and efficient solution. Of course, there will be some challenges ahead. For example, in Hong Kong, there are lots of regulation challenges, but definitely it is the right direction as good option for urban planners. Let's have a quick view about the market potential and the segmentation in global and China. The global automated parking system forecast to grow a CAGR of 16.7% within the next 10 years. And with the key driver, as I mentioned earlier, the less land with growing vehicles and also the smart mobility initiative. And in China, the last several years, there are around 1 million new build auto parking space per year. And the last year, 2021, in China, the commercial and the municipal segment are the most important two segments leading the automated parking system. And in this year, we believe the municipal will have the highest growth. And the hospital is the number 4 segment in China. And you can imagine that there are lots of hospitals in China, and the people choose to go to hospital, but not the conventional clinic like in Hong Kong. So hospital is also a very important segment. And let's have a more close look to the Great Bay Area, especially the 4 core cities Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, and Macau to see how the situation looks like. Here, we use the ratio that license the vehicle to parking space as a key index. And the workable ratio for the city is around 1.1, I mean the workable. But in the developed regions, normally that ratio will be 1.3. And if you look at the 2020 and 2021 data, I mean Shenzhen, the ratio is 0.61, Guangzhou 1.04, Hong Kong 1.01, and it still declined. I mean Macau last year was 0.8. So if based on the workable ratio, I mean for Shenzhen, the parking space gap is 1.7 million. And if based on the developed region, I mean for Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is a developed, I mean region. So the parking space gap is around 200,000. So let's see, since we saw the parking challenges, and let's see the urban planning for those, I mean, the Great Bay Area focal cities. In Guangzhou, in 2020, they launched the specific planning for the car park, and they defined the 2,592 automated parking space for the public use, and also planning more park and ride, park and ride automated parking projects. And they also have the building charging and the management strategy to encourage the automated parking facility industrialization and differentiate the charging rate and strengthen the parking management to be more smart and data-driven. And in Shenzhen, we are more direct that they, in 2020, they plan to build 40 automated car parks with 100,000 parking space, and they're also planning another 35 APS car parks. And if we go back to a hometown, I mean Hong Kong, the transportation department launched the smart mobility roadmap and defined 7 or maybe more different types of the pilot projects. And 2020, the EMSD published the guideline for the implementing the MVPS. As Derek mentioned, the first fully automated parking system in Science Park be launched. And the airport authority, they release some big projects related to the park flight and park visit. So that's Hong Kong. And if we go to Macau, so far we are still investigating the policy, but we have not got the latest update yet. Just as an update that in 2 years ago, I mean, IFOM built the first municipal automated car park in front of the Macau Legislative Assembly building. And just use example that IFOM, automated parking projects we are building in these 4 cities. In total, in the Great Bay Area, we build 176 the fully automated parking project, including the AGV parking we will mention later. The parking space is around 24,000, and the Shenzhen 81 projects, Guangzhou 41 projects. So you can see the the different cities in Great Bay Area, they are moving at a different pace. And the Shenzhen in Great Bay Area is the most experienced from a city planning perspective use the automated parking system. So in 2020, there's a survey to ask the users about the 4 questions. The first question is that have you ever seen automated car park in Shenzhen? So 65% they mentioned see that. And the second is like 59% they like to park inside the automated car park. And when the question is regarding the biggest concern to park into the automated car park, the first one is 48% the worry about the safety. I think it's not safety only for the car, but also the human. And the second, the concern is the difficult to operate, and that's the two key concerns for people to use that. And regarding last question, do you think the ABS car park will be promising? And you can see the 57% are very positive, and another 27 are somewhat, positive above the neutral. So overall, in Shenzhen, the people are familiar with automated car park and they like to try. And that will be very interesting. If ITS can do some survey in Hong Kong, I guess that'll be a different result.
唔知講，
So
佢哋覺得邊個right 咁啊 communications 啊嘛。
yeah, so let's continue on the topic of the user experience. And I use one fully automated parking project we did in Hong Kong as reference. So the most basic definition to tell fully automated from the semi-automated is that it's not just the automated equipment, but because the fully automated provided a dedicated transport cabin for people to park and retrieve the car, and it isolated the people from the automation equipment. So within this project, inside the transport cabin, so there are functional sensors for human and the car safety, and also there are some self-service terminal, park lighting, and the screen guardian to help the user feel safe and also easy parking. And the second one is that the transport cabin is very spacious and the design is very simple. And especially for the disabled, the transport cabin is a 5-meter wide. And if you see the transport cabin, the pallet, the car is on the pallet. And the pallet, the gap between the pallet and the platform is below 13 millimeter. That's a very huge, challenge for big robots to move into the cabin. Yeah, and also for each transport cabin, there will be a emergency exist with the interlock to keep safety, and the users can use the mobile apps to remote car retriever and also monitor the car retriever.
我知我唔係唔信，不過我就覺得
charging status. So that's the user experience again. So safe, easy, comfortable, and smart. And that's the user's perspective. But the realistic perspective, in the car park industry and the automated car park industry, the purchasing decision makers are not really users. So the user's perspective do not really align with the purchasing decision makers, that is the urban planner, developer, and the investor. And not just in Hong Kong. We have projects in the United States and in South Asia, Singapore, Australia, Middle East. And the purchasing decision makers, they're more focused on parking density, building cost, operation cost, and of course, some regions, especially like European, US, they have some consider the requirement for the user experience, but still we can see are not fully aligned. And for the purchasing decision makers, it's very important to define the objective. So some decision makers, they use the automated parking system because they want the increasing parking space, and some want to free space for more valuable land use, and some just, especially like in China, some are just saving the construction cost. And for some years, for example, for some hospital and luxury hospital, but the car park is very difficult or dangerous to park, they may use the automated car park to improve the user interface. So it's very important before to move to purchasing an automated parking system. It's very important to define an objective. And the second is like there are lots of criteria in the projects. For example, cost, project implementation time, regulation, and the number of parking space, throughput, reliability, safety, and smart and innovation features. And sometimes, like the cost, number of parking space, throughput, those criteria sometimes can be contradictory. So it's very important to list the criteria and set the priority. And regarding a successful automated parking project, I mean, from a supplier's perspective, for example, from e-phone perspective, the first one is this automated car park need to be safe. And the second is this auto car park need to be efficient. And the third part is that it is a high usage rate. That means lots of people like to use this auto car park. So that's basically the 3 points, I mean, from e-phone perspective, define successful or not. And from an experience perspective, there are 3 major will impact the so-called successful. The first one is system design. The second one is the automated parking system equipment and the installation quality. And the third one is the operation and the maintenance quality. That's basically 3 points will impact the project. And if talking about the system design, the selection of the location of the auto car park is important. And then the selection, the type of the equipment is also important as well. And again, to define the reasonable and prioritize the criteria. The third, to define the right numbers and the locations of the transfer cabin and the lifts. And another important is to define the ratio of automated parking space to conventional parking space. Just example, in the office, for office building, you know the office have a rush hour. So it's not that practical to put 100% to be automated parking system parking space. And need to find a good ratio, for example, maybe 50 to 50. But for the retail or maybe the residential, that ratio can be higher. It could be maybe 80 or 20. And for some cases, even could be a 100%. So that's also important. And from a long-term perspective, it's very important to define the digitalized features, because we built this car park for use for maybe 20 or 30 years. And if you go to maybe 10 years later or maybe 20 years later, if the car park is isolated, you can see the challenge. So digitalized features are important for future. And also there's another topic is about the EV charging. And EV charging, because there are more the EV electric vehicle. And but for example, in China, the EV charging the regulation is pretty clear for the conventional car park. And also the regulation for automated parking system is also clear. But there's there's no any regulation for the EV charging for automated parking system. So even now, there is no legally can be used the EV charging automated parking system for the automated parking system. So maybe Hong Kong can take a more step here. And we talk about the selection. I mean, there are lots of factors here. So in the next phase, I will show some the different types of the automated parking system equipment. And there are, I guess, maybe 6 or 7 main types of the equipments. And there's no one, the type of the auto parking system can replace all other. Everyone have a reason to exist. So if we're talking about the semi-automated parking, the puzzle and also the rotary. The up part is the parcel and the bottom part is the rotary parking. And the good things for these two solutions is that they are low-cost solution and they are quicker implementation. And especially for the rotary, you can have a high space efficiency with a small footprint. The downside is that because you need to, reverse parking a narrow space, and the driver walks in the equipment, and also, especially for a larger layout, you will mix the pedestrian and the equipments. And especially for the rotary, the energy efficiency is low, because if you want to retrieve a car or park a car, you need to rotate all the cars a circle. So, and also the same reason the noise is bigger, for the rotary. And partial and the rotary parking, they are very suitable for the small size with low budget car park, and also they are good for the short term, the tenancy line use. And it's good for the frequent user, because for the first time user, they'll be difficult parking to the the partial or maybe rotary, but the frequent user could be okay. And maybe you can support that with some manual valet parking service. That could be pretty common in United States. So use the and second. Then we talk about the fully automated. There are also different types of the fully automated parking system. One of that is the major of the fully automated. We call the VLHS, or in China we call the PPY. So it's a horizontal sliding and the vertical lifting. The advantage for this solution is that because they are fully automated, so they have a dedicated transport cabin to separate user from the equipment. So they are very safe. And also they have higher parking density, because normally they are multiple, the parking floors, and they are faster throughput. And the downside for this solution is that if you see the video, you can see the system, the shuttle is moving a linear trail. So the location of the cabins have to be along the rear. So and if for the irregular layout, the space efficiency will be low, because you cannot use the irregular space. And in Hong Kong, in China that's good, but in Hong Kong and also, for example, in Australia, because the labor cost is very high, especially in Hong Kong, you need to register, the engineer to do that. So the installation and the maintenance cost is very high. And it's very suitable for application in Hong Kong, from 2 to 6 floors for the underground or above ground application, and medium or larger footprint layouts. It could be a municipal or commercial complex or residential project. And based on the informed practice, we have done actually very smaller, for example, 15 for United States. And also we done the biggest one in China, 1,800 parking space using the VLH, the PPY solution.
Hi, Carol.
And there's another fully automated parking type is the tower parking.
Mm-hmm.
So the tower parking, the advantage, same as the PPY, because they have a dedicated transport cabin, but and also they are high space efficiency. And I'm not sure if you see a project in Singapore, just maybe 2 or 3 cars, you can park 50 cars. So they are highest space efficiency, and they can be modular. So it really depends on how many the towers you like to build with
Sure.
arrangement.
They are the people are always aggressive.
And but of course, I mean, there are some downside. I'm not sure downside or some I mean challenges in Hong Kong. I guess the first one will be the
Oh yes, yes.
file service department. I remember in Singapore we have done different projects, you know, based on the tower.
I don't know.
We have more
Actually,
strict,
I'm not aware of it.
the file service the
Yes,
regulation.
because to info, I because just running to info
excuse me,
at ATAL.com. So I don't know what
who
she would like to address to.
Hello, host, can you mute others?
My name is not in info. I don't think she knows me actually.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So another downside is that I mean, as we understood from the developers that they are worried about the GFA impact. So it looks like will be more practical for the I mean the municipal or government to build the top parking. So for the suitable application in Hong Kong, we believe that the 10 to 30 floors above ground top parking, and it's for the public use.
It's always like that for for the salespeople, especially Indian. They're very aggressive.
And a lot of good applications that since there's no there's more you know the electric vehicle cars, and it's good to build some parking and the EV charging power. So that could be a very interesting infrastructure.
They send email every week actually.
And
if they don't get an answer, they will.
Based on the experience, we built from 14 to 662 parking space per project.
Not bad, not bad. Okay. Sorry.
There's another special type of the
really. Sorry,
parking. We call the
Monday or Tuesday, maybe.
So
not so good.
It's similar to the I mean the tower parking, but it's with long shape.
Not really, maybe
and
just
for each
to be
floor, there could be 8 to 12 parking space per floor, and it can arrange entrance and exit. So
okay.
Okay. In China, it's along the 8 floors, but this is an underground project. So the circular top parking is not common in the market, because I mean you really need to find a layout that's suitable for the I mean long shape the circular top parking. That is a good technology.
Oh, sorry.
Another I mean the fully automated technologies that we call the is actually a e-phone patent solution. The solution the special here is that they separate the cabin from the lift. I mean, for example, no matter for the PPY, the VLHS I just mentioned, the cabin is inside the lift. It's safe, but some regions, some people they just feel not safe. So we provide that we call the PCY solution to them. So this solution, they have higher space comparing to the PPY solution, and this solution can modular. So for this solution, we actually provide them most for the hospital use, because they need to handle higher throughput, but of course they need to build I mean about 7 floors, because it's normally you need the 7 or to 60 floors to be more I mean efficient. So I mean from e-phone practice we build I think around 230 projects based on the PCY solution. I mean smallest one is 36, and the biggest one is around 1,200 parking space per project, and it's modular. It's very good for hospital use. And this one solution we call the stacking. In China we call the PXD, and it's also belong to fully automate. The difference here is that they use the stack crane, so the lifting and the moving is at the same time. So comparing to the VOH solution, they have the health space, and normally the cost will be lower, and it's modular. But the cons is that comparing to previous solution, they are a bit slower. So normally will be provided for 3 to 5 above ground or underground floor parking. And we have built the smallest one is 26 parking space, and the biggest one is 1,000 parking space. That's all for practice. So there's a special fully automated solution we call the AGV, automatic guided vehicle parking. It's a moving robotic parking. And in Hong Kong, I know some people call the Feijian. In the last almost 10 years, Yifeng delivered the different types of the AGV parking. And the advantage for AGV parking is that they are very flexible. And you see they can move backward and forward, and they can do side shift, and they can even do free-form moving. So they are very good flexible to adapt the layout, especially irregular layout. And there are low wears, so the installation and the maintenance and the noise will be lower. And of course, and you can continuously develop some smart features. So that's all the advantages. But of course, they also have some disadvantages that they need less slack flow, because the AGV need to run a slack flow. Some AGV, like common AGV, they need to run on concrete. But for other AGV, like the arc AGV, it can run on metal slab. So that's the AGV parking. And I can show you an example. So this project is in Singapore. Actually, the first, the AGV parking project in Singapore we built. And right now we have 4 projects in Singapore. And this is one example. So the architect is the KPF. It's 5 floors and the total 95 parking space. And the shape is more like an irregular shape, and it's more like a pear. And it's quite not possible to use the other mechanical parking or manual parking. So AGV parking is a very fit, and actually is the only solution for this project. And if you go to Singapore, you can maybe have a visit on that. And 2 years ago, Yifeng launched a double-decker AGV, and this AGV can handle the 2-floor, the second floor parking. So you can see they can do self-flotation, and they can do the second floor lifting. And this solution is very good to compare in the 2-level partial solution, because they offer a very safe and comfort parking. And in early this year, we launched the second generation double-decker. And the difference from the first generation is that the lifting became fully electric, and the total weight of the AGV became 30% lighter, and high efficiency, and also easy maintenance. And we just did a big project based on this solution. I guess maybe 2 or 3 years later, you will see that project in Hong Kong. And if you see the solution, sorry. And in the COM, for every parking space, we need the COM structure. It's fast. The COM AGV solution is fast, but you need the COM structure, and you need a very high accurate the control. And this one is project we did in Hong Kong. And for this AGV solution, you need a pilot. And for this solution, of course, because you need the double decker, so you need a car rack. But for this solution, we call the ARC AGV. That's the first generation ARC. And for this solution, you can directly park on the floor, and the robotics will, also operate on floor. So you don't need the pilot, you don't need the COM, the park operation can directly on the floor. So that's the latest the AGV parking, form, and also it is the most flexible AGV in the world. So just imagine you can use that solution for automate new or existing car park. And what do you need? It's just the cabin, because inside the car park, it's the same as the floor, as the conventional floor. So it's very flexible, and also the headroom is the lowest right now in the industry. And also the installation and maintenance, the cost is lower because there's no need to install the tracks, no need to install the COM, no need to install the pallet. So that's the latest solution in the world to define the most flexible cabins parking solution. So that's my presentation. I really appreciate your time here, and I'll yield back to the host for maybe the Q&A session. Thanks.
So thank you once again to Derek and Simon for the informative presentation on this exciting topic. I'm sure many of you may have some questions. Let's see how our chat goes. Can see a few questions to you. Let's see. Okay, we have the first question. In Hong Kong, how can I fulfill BDEV charging requirement when I consider PSH system and the PPY system? How the view from FSD and EMSD if it is a private in underground and any case in progress in Hong Kong? May Simon or Derek have some answers for this question?
Yeah,
I'm Derek.
Oh, sorry, Derek.
I'm Derek. For the first question for the EV charger, that could be done in the PSH system. So believe that could fulfill BD requirement. And for technical, I will let maybe Simon to explain a little bit more for the technical. For the second question for the PPY system, there's a case in Hong Kong, a government project using PPY in underground, and the case is in progress. And so believe that FSD and EMSD, they are well aware of this kind of system, and but not sure because we still not that we still not know more detail about the regulation side, but the case is in progress for the second question. Back to question one, Simon, do you have anything supplement about technical for the EV charging in PSH?
Yeah, firstly, we have done the PSH EV charging in China and the other region, but not in Hong Kong. And for the EV charging, the project, we did that in the first science project. But I guess maybe Derek has information about the BD improve. Technically, for the PSH, I think the first floor and the second floor will be good. But the third floor for the EV charging will be difficult because you need a much longer value. So PSH will be good for the first or second floor, as I understood. And for PPY system, I mean, technically, I think it's not issue from technical perspective, but I guess there are two topics. The first one is how EMSD will certify the EV charging connector to enable the PPY, the EV charging. That's something I'm not quite sure because that's still in the progress. And the second one is for the FSD. That's what I mentioned in China. I mean, we have built that. I think we have built the tower parking, and also actually we built a bus parking with the EV charging. The difficulty, as I mentioned right now, in China, there's no regulation to certify the EV charging inside the automated parking system. So I think that's a very good question, and we will continue to discuss the FSD to see the possibility to use the EV charging inside the automated parking system.
And for the third question, let me answer the third question about the security concerns. For the fully automated parking system like PPY, and AGV, all this kind of parking system are fully automated, and the parking area is unmanned. So in case there anybody stay inside his car, and whenever he come out the car and stay inside the unmanned area, there should have an alarm or alert to the operator. And this is the first one. And the second one is no matter what, they cannot get out of the unmanned area until they get the access right. So I don't think that will be a big security concerns. And also we will do some kind of screening in the transfer cabin to make sure to minimize the chance that anybody is staying in the car. That's the mechanism for automatic parking. But for semi-automatic parking, like the partial type, it's not inside an unmanned area. So just like a traditional parking. So there's still a chance that someone stay in the car and break into the other's cars, just like the traditional parking. So for semi-automatic parking system, the security will have a bigger concern. Simon, do you have anything supplement?
Yeah, I think you asked most of the questions. Yeah.
And Joanne, back to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So seems like no more further questions from now on. Thank you again, Derek and also Simon, for sharing your insight and the informative presentation to us. So after this webinar, we will be sending excerpts of this afternoon's presentation with the contact details of ATAL. So you may directly approach them afterwards for the further questions. And also we will be emailing you the CPD certificates for this event. So this is the end of today's webinar. The next of this series will be featuring CAPS on the topic of sustainable mobility. Please stay tuned to our emails and communication later on for further details of the next event. In the meantime, thank you again and see you all next time. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.